Hey, Dean Yeager.
Welcome back to part 2 of our discussion on the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and this starting of phase 2.
Yeah,
we did all of phase 1. We're going to try to bust it up a little more this time. We did all of phase 1 last time, but There was only 5 movies.
Yeah,
this one's obviously a little more, so we're only going to do 4, and we're going to start with what started off phase 2, which was Iron Man 3.
Iron Man 3, yeah.
Again, it was kind of different.
Shane Black came in to direct,
yes,
right?
Because Favreau dropped out. He had a falling out with Marvel.
Right. That's so many different.
I liked it. I like the idea that he's having almost like post-traumatic stress from what happened in New York. I love that scene where he says, I'm a big hopping mess. Nothing's been the same, and all that. And again, I'm not a Marvel purist, but I know they screwed up the Mandarin and Guy Pearce, which I'm a fan of some of his work, some not. I thought he did a good job. I didn't get the villain, and then at the end he's like, "I'm the Mandarin." I'm like, wait a minute, I don't think you're the Mandarin.
No, that's one of the biggest, if not the greatest grievance that film has against it, is how they messed up the Mandarin.
Yeah.
The 10 rings and all. Because up until that they had been
done really well. Yeah.
Yeah, and they had been sort of teasing the idea that the 10 rings, which is what the Mandarin, and I don't know a whole lot about, the Mandarin, which was one of Iron Man's greatest villains.
Yes. Well, that's why I was excited, because you told me that.
Right.
When we're like, Iron Man 3, the Mandarin's going to be in it. And he goes to that house and, and nothing against Sir Ben
Kingsley, yeah.
Ben Kingsley. He's great, but he was like, oh, I'm just a paid actor. That's not right. I'm not even a comic book purist, and I don't think that's right.
Well, and they sort of corrected that. They had steered the ship back in the right direction later on with All Hail the King.
Yeah.
But
they did screw up.
Yeah.
But, they keep going, and these post-credit scenes we're obviously going to talk about. It's not like the phase 1 where they set up the very next film. These were for the long haul. These were long plays. So this post-credit scene was more of a goof. It was Downey Jr. like having a therapy session with Bruce Banner, Mark Ruffalo, which is great. I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah.
Where he's like, I don't have the right temperament for it, which is probably true. But the next one that came out was Thor, The Dark World, Thor 2.
Yeah.
And if I'm speaking frankly, we kind of hit it on this in the first video. The first 4, iconic heroes with Iron Man, Hulk, Thor, and then Captain America. Captain America was a distant third, and Thor had a stronghold because Thor 1 was great. This one kind of missed the mark.
Right.
It really did, in my opinion.
Now, and I don't mean to...
No, go ahead.
To rewind a bit, but the last thing I did want to say about Iron Man 3 was, despite any of the deficits it had, it was still an installment in the Iron Man Tony Stark character development. And the relationship he builds with the kid, which we see that kid
at the end. Yeah. Well, we'll get into that when we get
there. But
there.
anyway, I just wanted to point that out.
No, I got you.
For that purpose alone, it was great. So Thor: The Dark World. Personally, I enjoyed it.
I liked it.
I liked it. I really did like it. In fact, I'm probably one of its bigger fans compared to a lot of people.
It's just, to me, it definitely missed as far as the first one. The first one to me was great.
Okay.
This one, almost like Iron Man 2, something was amiss. I love that he went against the Dark Angels and all that. That was great. It just, I don't know, something missed. And it maybe didn't notice it till we get into what comes out after that. It just felt like something missed, in my opinion, but didn't really notice it again until,
Well, the thing about it is Christopher Eccleston, I think is his name, Eccleston. He plays the leader of the Dark Elves.
Yeah.
Okay, from what I found out later, though, they cut a good 10, 15, 20 minutes of his backstory, his origin story.
That could have hurt. That could have helped a lot.
Yeah, because he's one of those villains in the cinematic universe, the history of it, where he's almost like fast tracked. You know, you're like, well, wait a minute. Why is this guy, and what is he? What's the motivation here? And you come to find out that this guy is a very talented actor, and a lot of his scenes, like in so many films, happens. Yeah, late.
Well, maybe that would have helped. And again, I'm not taking anything away. Just like we said in Iron Man 2 in the first video, where something was amiss, I enjoyed it. It was an installment. Iron Man 3 again, different, but it's an installment. Same thing with this one. And then we get to the post-credit scene where the Collector is introduced.
Right.
Del Toro, phenomenal actor in my opinion.
Yes.
And they bring the
the
reality stone.
Right.
And again, that doesn't set up it's really just sets up, things to come later
down the road. Yeah.
And but then we get another installment the next year, which is Captain America: Winter Soldier. And to me personally, this is definitely my favorite Captain America film.
Yes. Probably
one of my favorite in the whole Marvel Cinematic Universe, all the way up to, the end of Endgame.
Yeah.
And we had a comment on our first Marvel video. A guy said that he felt like Chris Evans, especially in the first Avenger, he was not portrayed right, in the comic books. And I understand where he's coming from.
Yeah.
Steve Rogers is a gritty war veteran. He's not a pretty boy. Chris Evans played the pretty boy.
Right.
Whatever lacked in First Avenger made up for it and then some with Winter Soldier.
I complete agreement with you. When this came out, my favorite Marvel movie up to that point. Loved Winter Soldier. I just took it. Him teaming up with
Falcon.
Falcon.
Yeah.
And with Black Widow. The three of them in this going against the Winter Soldier.
Yes.
Bucky.
Bucky.
We have as sort of like the executive suit and tie villain, we have Robert Redford. Wow, just a scumbag in this, right? Love him in this.
Yeah.
Got some great scenes. But yeah, it takes it to the next level. Frank Grillo plays a bad guy, who eventually becomes something else later down the road.
Yes.
And just all this. Of course, everyone knows the elevator scene.
That's my favorite part, where he's just standing there and then just says, before we get started, does anyone want to get out? And that's just, oh man. Like I said, Chris Evans just hit it out of the park, took it to another level.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I get the grievances with the first Avenger. I do. I give it love because I was a Captain America fan, and the Red Skull is hands down one of my favorite villains. I wish he was in the DC universe. I really do. That's how much I like the Red Skull. I don't know why. I can't explain it, can't describe it. I just do. But whatever was lacking, like we keep saying, all those go by the wayside. And to me, it shoots him past Thor, where Thor, and it made me see, like, the Dark World kind of missed a little bit. And this knocked it out of the park. Captain America's
he just shot
right past him. And that's probably why we didn't get a Thor 3 until, when was it, 2017?
Right, yeah. Now, I want to give a lot of credit to the storyline about what blew me away, what really just, because I don't remember this being in the con, and our friends out there who would be able to correct me, I don't remember Hydra infiltrating S.H.I.E.L.D., at least not to that level where it was so invasive. Dude, you talk about a big surprise.
Yeah.
The big reveal. And now, I personally, I did watch, I don't think you did, the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. TV show.
No, I haven't seen any
which of intersected. Now, and again, that a lot of the storylines at that point in time when Winter Soldier come out revolve around that, about Hydra's infiltration into S.H.I.E.L.D. I mean, just almost wholly and completely.
Huh.
And but dude, you talk about an organization that's freaky, man.
Yeah.
Because you're thinking, okay, well, what about all the guys I remember from a couple years ago in the movies I saw in S.H.I.E.L.D.? I wonder if they were in on this,
Yeah.
And then the only other point I wanted to bring up was early on in the film where Black Widow and Cap, they go on to the aircraft carrier, right?
Yeah.
To save the agents. There's a guy, and again, Marvel in its wisdom, infinitely great, decides to throw us a bone once in a while with minor characters, not only heroes but also villains. Batroc the Leaper in the
no
film.
idea what that is.
I forgot the actor's name, but he's a kickboxer,
Oh, wow.
and you see him fighting on on the upper deck of the ship, Captain America. And,
Okay.
And he's like a sea-level villain, but hey, let's
throw him in.
Let's throw him in.
But yeah, so yeah, Winter Soldier is high regard, I guess, on both of our.
Yes, absolutely.
And then we get a post-credit scene, of course. Marvel is big on that. Is they set up, Black Widow, or not Black Widow, Scarlet Witch and
Quicksilver.
Quicksilver. And put Hydro too, where they're basically saying they're taking it to another level.
Yeah, it was Baron von Strucker.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah, another character out of the comics, a Hydra, a lieutenant in the Hydra organization, so to speak. But yeah, sets up,
Yeah, and then we go into a film that I remember you telling me about this movie. I really thought, and I know you can back me up on this. I said this is going to flop. It just seems a little out there.
Yeah,
Guardians of the Galaxy. I was like, this is not. I don't think it's going to go well. They're going to stumble, and Avengers: Age of Ultron is going to have to pick it up.
Yeah,
but boy, was I wrong. And I'll go on record too. I'm glad I was wrong because I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it.
Chris Pratt, Zoe Saldana. I mean, the whole Batista.
Batista, man.
Yeah.
And then Bradley Cooper does the voice of Raccoon. Vin Diesel.
Yeah.
I am Groot.
And then, if I'm not mistaken, our first official. There was the official deal of Thanos at the end of. What was it? Avengers. You saw him on
the end of Avengers. Yeah, he says, "I'll take matters into my own hands."
But in this, you see, I forgot the villain's name now. Was it the Executioner?
I think so.
I don't. Forgive me for that. I don't quite recall at this point, but he's got a little back and forth with Thanos. I don't think Thanos says very much. He basically. Shakes his fist at Thanos and says, I've got my own Infinity Stone, and I'm gonna head you off, and I'm gonna be, I'm not giving this to you.
Yeah. I love the other credit scene where it goes back to the Collector.
Yeah.
And it's just a mess, and the Astro Dog licks him, and you hear a voice goes, "Why do you let him lick you like that?" And it's Howard the Duck, man. I love Howard the Duck.
Yeah,
and he's supposed to Isn't he supposed to get his own little thing?
Yeah, here in the future.
Nothing will compare to that '80s film, though.
Oh, good God!
They call him Howard the Duck.
Yes, I remember. Yeah.
That was great. Why do you let him lick you like that? I had no idea that Howard the Duck would show up. No idea. I think I asked you, why did Howard the Duck show up? Well, he's part of Marvel. I had no idea.
He had his own comic run, if I remember.
Wow. I see. I had no idea. I thought it was just a big joke when that movie came out.
But yeah, Pratt, of course, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1, the soundtrack. I mean, come on, that's like half the movie.
Star-Lord, man.
Yes, just a great film.
And it's basically how they came together too.
Yes.
Because just how they cross paths and how they form into a group.
Yeah, and first, most of them dislike each other.
Yes.
They don't want to be it's a ragtag group to reluctantly come together.
Yeah. And shout out to Batista, man. He's even said it. He was floundering as an actor, trying to be an actor, getting out of wrestling. Just not really getting any traction, and then boom, gets that role, man, and just knocks it out of the park. And it all started from him. There was in Blade Runner's sequel.
Yeah.
Was in the James Bond movie. He played the bad guy, and he played very good as bad guy.
I got to check that out. Yeah, I feel bad that I can't remember that guy's name, the supervillain in Guardians of the Galaxy. He was a Kree, if I'm not mistaken.
We need help in the comments.
Someone, please.
But I think it's a good place to stop.
Yeah.
There's still a few more in phase 2, and we'll tackle that in another video. But I guess out of those 4, which like we did in the first video, what was your favorite out of those 4?
Out of those 4, Winter Soldier.
It's hands down.
Yeah.
I picked a different one last time.
Yeah.
Just to give it love. But yeah, out of those, it's great. Nothing against Iron Man 3 or Thor 2 or Guardians of the Galaxy. Like I said, I was completely wrong. Like I told you, we had conversations. I said, this is going to stumble. And then I went into this whole thing, what if Avengers Age of Ultron stumbles? This is something that this monster just kept spinning all the way, and it's still going.
Yeah, and again, we have Nick Fury all the way through, Samuel L. Jackson with a guiding hand, a guiding force. You see him overseeing the events, so all these characters bringing things together, almost like a Gandalf type.
Yeah.
You know, in his own way. I mean, it's just, Marvel has done something that, you know, I could make a DC reference right now, but I won't because...
No, it's not DC. As much as I love DC, DC is not.
Yeah.
You know, this came along at the right time.
Yes.
Did they make mistakes? Yes, but they made up for it in other areas, or they, you know, completely erased and said, we screwed up, let's fix it. So, yeah.
In the case of the Mandarin.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So.
But, yeah. That's we're off and rolling here. We're about halfway through phase 2. I think the next one is Avengers 2.
Oh,
and
okay.
if I'm not mistaken, and I think we hinted on this in the first one, correct me if I'm wrong, we were supposed to get Thanos in Avengers 2.
Right.
And then it was like a year later when it came out, I said, well, no, we're going to do Ultron. And then, of course, you told me who Ultron was. And we'll dive into that in the next video. But, you know, that's it. You know, tell us what you like about this phase up to these 4. Tell us, you know, do you like what we're doing here? If we're wrong, you know, you can call us out, but don't hold us over the fire because, again, we're not purists. We don't have a 50-page note sheet to have everything right here.
Right. And again, honestly, like we sort of give a disclaimer on all our videos. Listen, we know that we sort of scratch the surface on a lot of this stuff, that we could be on here for 2 hours talking
We
about.
could do a video on each movie.
A series on each film.
And that wouldn't even be enough.
No.
You know?
No.
But again, we're just doing this for fun. You know, let us know what you think, and watch out for the next episode.
Yim.
Not Yim. Not Yim. No. Guys, we're going to be here a while.
Good night and good luck.
Nice. Don't do it either.